guys. What's up? What's going on? Happy holidays to you guys. How are you guys doing? I hope all is well on your side of the town. All right. So I really wasn't going to be doing any recaps this week because I was like, you know what? It is the holidays. Most of these shows is on vacation. So I'm going to be on my little staycation as well. And from work, I'm getting off 4 days. I don't have to go back until Monday. So, you know, your girl is super excited about that. I'm just looking forward to, like, just relaxing. Although I do have stuff to do. You know, just kind of, like, chilling or whatever. But I think this is supposed to be, like, the season finale. So I was like, you know what? Your girl definitely got to come true. And bless y'all with the last episode real quick, okay? Because I'm like, we've been rocking throughout the whole entire thing, so why not? Did y'all notice, like, it's only 7 episodes, and they always do this. Them and the Braxtons, they always have, like, the shortest amount of episodes. But it's alright. Let's go ahead and we're going to talk about this episode. Let me get my little notes up. Alright, so they started off from when the accident had happened where Vincey smashed into the tree. I remember seeing it on, I think, the Shade Room or something. Some one of them things. Or it might have been TMZ. I saw it on there. So he initially refused to go to the hospital, but then he ended up going. He did have some damages to his body. He seemed like he was really shaken up because he's never been through anything like that. He's never been through a car accident. So, and to do it so, like, crazy. He said that the reason why it happened is because there was like 3 coyotes coming out of nowhere, and he tried to like swerve them real quick. And you know, them wildlife, they be trying to get people. Cause I know down here in the city we don't really gotta worry about stuff like that. Maybe like a cat or something, but I ain't gonna risk my life for no cat. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let y'all know that now. I mean, but you know, upstate, you definitely have to be careful because sometimes dares and stuff. I mean, I'm rarely ever upstate, so I don't really see stuff like that. But it's definitely something that you gotta be cognizant of if you are to go there. So James, I guess he's doing music or whatever. I think he did a gospel song because Tamar and E.J had came to visit him, and it sounded like it was a gospel song. And E.J was saying he caught the Holy Spirit or something like that. And I'm like, James, really? So, yeah, you're going to use this episode to make sure you promote yourself real quick. They made sure they put in the last episode, too. I mean, it definitely is nice to have friends in high places, you know. Wasn't we talking about that before? Don't burn your bridges. Make sure you are a yes man when needed. So, yeah, she tells E.J and James that she's going to go through with it. She was planning to do her great escape, but you know, she didn't call it that. She just said like her separation plan, but she had to kind of abort that mission because of everything that went down with Vince. But EJ pretty much called it the great escape, but she's like, no, it's not like that. I'm just trying to have us come back together. Like, I just don't see the whole splitting up to come back together. It just seems so indefinite. I mean, for me personally, and I'm a Pisces, honey, if I don't want to be around you, then once you gone, you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have something more invested into you to even consider possibly getting back with somebody. Especially after I've had my space. I'm starting to get accustomed to not having to wait for you in the bathroom. I mean, they probably didn't have to anyway because they had a house, not an apartment. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get accustomed to, like, just sleeping by yourself, not having to answer to nobody, just waking up when you want to wake up, sleeping when you want to sleep, you know, doing whatever. Just being yourself, you know, having your nannies take care of the kid if the kid's with you, whatever. You don't have to worry about answering to no man or telling him I'm coming home late, I'm sorry, this or that. You don't have to check in. You know, when you don't have those types of things and you get used to it, why would you want to go back? You know, when you've gotten a taste of something better, why would you want to go back to, you know? So, Vince tells Tamar when they were talking that he's going to Chicago for a meeting because they was talking about when he can travel, and he was like, I can travel right now. And she didn't want him to come with her to New York, but he was like, I can come. Like, there's no reason why I can't. He's like, I'm about to go to Chicago right now. And then she's like, Chicago for what? And he's like, a meeting for my company. And she's like, right there, I do see that definitely causing a problem. Like, y'all know a lot of times here throughout these 7 episodes, I've been down with Vince. I've been, like, feeling bad for him and just kind of like, damn, Vince. But right now, I kind of see, because I know me, I would definitely bug out if somebody tells me they about to go to another city. And they not even telling me why. Like, hold up, wait a minute. Like, okay, you're going to a meeting for what exactly? Why is it that I have to ask you about this when I tell you everything? Why is it that you're not just volunteering that information? Like, why is it that I have to ask you about it? And I think that that's some of the reasons why she said she gets upset, is because she tells him everything. And that's the kind of person I am. Like, I'm with you. I'm going to tell you where I'm going, what I'm doing, whatever. Not because you make me, but because that's something that I feel that I should do. I feel like that's a respectful thing to do. So I expect for you to return the same thing, and not for me to have to ask you, oh, who was you with yesterday? What time did you come home? Why are you going out of state? Why are you going out of the city? Like, we're together. You're supposed to let me know these things without me having to, oh, but this and that. And that's what she was saying. She was like, I'm not doing the 100 questions right now. She started walking away. That's another thing, too, that messes up a lot of things. Like, how do y'all expect to communicate if you're always walking away? Or if he's always walking away? Like, yeah, I see walking away can stop people from escalating, but it's not getting anything resolved. Like, are you at least coming back to it at a later time with a calmer deposition or whatever? Are you doing that? Probably not. It's just kind of blowing over. Y'all mad for a couple of days, and then it's on to the next topic. And that's probably why there's so much animosity between the two of them. So they go to the album release party, and Tamar gives this epic speech, okay, talking about her album, what inspired it, what made her do what she did, and just everything about her album, and about love, and just loving yourself first, and not depending on any boyfriend or any husband or anything. And Vince was just sitting there like, yo, she's like dead stabbing me numerous times while everyone is just standing up here looking uncomfortable. Because I saw some faces that looked like they was like, damn, it's trouble in paradise. They didn't want to say that, but you could tell by their facial expressions that they was catching that shade, honey. They was catching it. And they was definitely understanding and kind of like, wait, what? Like, is she talking about Vince? Vincey? Okay. I see that. They was definitely understanding that. So following that, what happened? Let me see. So yeah, when they went out after the show, she was saying how this is supposed to be her last album, and then Vince is just like, no, it's not gonna be her last album. She loves music too much, and he was just like, he doesn't see that happening. She was like, yeah, it is going to be my last album because I got to do what I got to do. And he was like, well, the music is stressful. She's like, no, it's not that the music is stressful. It's my situation. She's like, and then I'm like, here we go again. Here we go again. I mean, they pick the worst times. She picks the worst times to kind of feed into these things and kind of bring up stuff that I feel like it should be talked about with just them two, and not around like your entourage or anything like that, because it just kind of makes everybody feel uncomfortable when you're in that type of situation. I know when I'm around stuff, well, I haven't recently, but when I used to be around stuff like that, it's kind of like one of those moments where you're like, what do I say now? Let me just eat my food, or let me go on my phone real quick. Let me just go ahead and like every picture that comes up in my feed right now. I don't even care if I like it. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm no longer looking or having any eye contact with anybody, because I don't want to be thrown into this little ring of fire. I don't want to get hot. I don't want it. So now Tamar, she legit got a new apartment, like a nice little condo type of apartment in a building. And E.J and James, they was just like, wow, this is really a big step. And E.J, he actually made a good point again. He was saying that he thought she was getting rid of a manager, not getting rid of her husband. And she was like, yeah, but she wants to make sure that she shows him that she's serious. So it's almost like she's playing a game or something. Like, I don't know. Like, is this for real, or are you doing this to just show a point? Like, this is a drastic way to show a point, if that's what you're trying to do. Like, lesson learned, honey. I mean, but this is a good way to push your man into the arms of another. Because you ain't going to be there. He going to have them lonely, cold nights. And somebody's going to be ready to console him, especially because this is out there now. It's all over the whole freaking world. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of women are probably looking at him like, okay, your wife won't do what she got to do. I'm here. You know, one of them little snowflakes that she's always talking about. No offense to anybody, but, you know, that's what she be saying. So now, Vince, I guess she said she stayed out late and she called him up to let him know that she was coming home, that she ended up staying at her apartment and she couldn't make it home, is what she said. So she ended up staying at her new apartment. And when she called him to say, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't come home, he already knew that she had an apartment. So it kind of left a bad taste in her mouth. Like, how the hell he know that I have an apartment and I didn't even tell him? The only two people I told was E.J and James. But you know what? She's saying, oh, that she feels like she's being followed. Maybe not. Remember, when you told E.J and James, this was being recorded by producers that work for both of you guys. So perhaps that is how it ended up getting out. You know, I'm pretty sure that they get paid from him as well, you know, because he's like a producer. I mean, I don't know how the whole logistics of the thing work, but he's bosses to certain people. So if they hear you telling these guys that, I'm pretty sure all they have to do is they probably have his number as number one with a star next to it. Just press their favorites. Do people still have favorites anymore? T-Mobile top 5. That was back in the days. So yeah, hit their favorite and call him up. Let him know what the deal is. You know, they're in the new apartment. They probably, you know, they could have been told him about it. I got all these frogs in my throat, y'all. They don't want me to win. So that made her feel a little funny about that. And she felt like it was a little bit stalker-ish. And she then said, like, then they showed that, like, 10 days later, she ended up filing for divorce. Which I'm like, okay, I kind of knew that's where it was headed. I mean, we all knew anyway because we already seen the headlines. But just by doing this whole thing, like, I kind of felt like that's where it was headed anyway. She says supposedly she still cares about him. She's still in love with him. But she's got to make sure that she lets him know that she's really serious about everything. Allegedly, she saw a post on the Shade Room or TMZ, one of the two, where he had put up the house that they live in for sale. I mean, maybe he was upset, so he's like, oh, you want to make a point and make headlines? I'm going to make a point and make headlines too. You ain't going to be coming back here to get your clothes anytime you want to get your clothes. Because I'm pretty sure all her stuff does not fit in that house, in this little apartment. I'm pretty sure she got a whole ton worth of things back in that apartment. I mean, in the house. I mean, it was a mansion. You got to fill that. And it looked like it was pretty darn full to me. So now, Vince, she said that Vince probably found out about the divorce with everybody else, the whole entire public. That's shameful. I would hate, I mean, that's not even like, that's on the level of sending somebody a text message to break up with them times 1,000. I mean, that's just next level disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it's probably her that probably leaked the information, because how else would they know? Does it immediately become public records? I don't know, but I don't know. I just feel like it seemed a little funny style. Like, she probably was like, oh, you don't want to answer the phone, or you don't want to answer my text message? Okay, I'm going to let everybody know what's going on with my life. I mean, she became a reality star, and she takes it to the next level. Like, she shares everything. Which, you know, sometimes there's certain things you gotta keep to yourself. I think that a lot of people that do reality shows, their relationships tend to fail. Like, almost all these reality shows you see, like, you don't be seeing most of these relationships last. You always see some kind of problem. I don't know if it's the fame that gets to them, or if it's the pressure of having people around you all the time, the money. I don't know what it is, but a lot of them end up splitting apart. The only people that we see doing good right now that are examples, if you want to say that, is probably like Papoose and Remy. What's her name is coming out. Tiana Taylor and her husband, they're supposed to be doing a reality show. I'm really hoping that this keeps them together. Well, not keeps them together, but that it doesn't destroy them, I should say. And, I mean, those are like the two I think of off the top of my head. I mean, I know there's others, but I have to like sit down and actually think and type them out to remember. So anyways, Tamar, she ends up saying that one of her biggest things for doing this, besides just trying to teach homeboy a lesson, is that she's doing this for her son at the end of the day, because she doesn't want to be that family. She doesn't want him to think that this is normal, that this is real, and that this is the way that it's supposed to go. I can definitely see how that makes sense, because I remember when I took the opportunity to leave an abusive relationship that I had with my son's father, because we were both horrible for each other. Like, it was really, really bad. Like, physically abusive, verbally abusive, and it was mentally exhausting. It was just really, really bad. And when I took the opportunity to say, okay, this is the time for me to leave because I can't do this anymore, I don't want this to be the example that I have for my son. And, you know, that's a lot of times what it takes. A lot of times, you know, it's because you don't want your child to grow up thinking that that is the way of life, because little kids do what they see from their parents a lot of times. Like, you know, they see their parents being abusive and they feel like, okay, this girl gotta listen to me. This is the way it's supposed to be. Like, she's supposed to respect me and not talk back to me or whatever. And no, you know, there's levels to it, and there's a way that you're supposed to, and you know, you don't want them to see that. So, and I wasn't gonna be the girl, you know, I'm not that submissive type to just, okay, master, yes, you know, that's not me. So it was very toxic, and it wasn't something that a child should be around or have to deal with on a consistent basis, because it can definitely bring them down, you know. But yeah, I definitely see why she's saying that, but I just feel like the whole thing, like, I do feel like she was kind of running away from the situation, but we don't know at the end of the day how bad it was. I mean, maybe she just doesn't want to put it out there how bad it really was. But, you know, her mom is saying all this abuse stuff. And her mom seems like she's a pretty honest person, unless Tamar maybe exaggerated. But she said she saw bruises and things like that in the interviews that she had done. So if it was to that extent, then you got to do what you got to do. You can't always save face, you know? But thanks for watching. Definitely be sure to comment down below. Stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I will see you in the next one. We'll see you guys in the new year. Look out for new videos, okay? We got this boat on rotation.